Hello, friends. Welcome to this week's episode in my sourdough series. Today, we're talking specifically about feeding your starter. This is going to help you understand your starter a lot better. And more importantly, it's also going to make sure that you're using your starter at the right time and that it's ready to bake with. Now, I like to keep my starter in the refrigerator when I'm not using it because I don't bake every day. I only bake like once a week. So the first thing that you need to understand are the sourdough feeding ratios, and also that different ratios are going to take different times to peak. And peak just basically means that it's the optimal time to bake bread with. So if we're feeding a sourdough starter a 1:1:1 ratio, that is equal parts starter to your flour and water. And that is only going to take possibly 2 to 3 hours to peak, which means it's going to be ready to use a lot faster than if you use a 1:5:5 ratio, which is 5 times the amount of flour and water. So a 1:5:5 ratio is actually my preferred method because I like to feed my starter at nighttime before I go to bed. I'll feed it at about 8 p.m. and then the next day at 8 a.m. I have a perfectly risen starter. I can easily see in the jar that it's doubled or tripled in size, and you're also going to know that your starter is ready to bake with because it's going to be nice and flat on top. If you look through the side of your jar and you see a visible dome on top, that means that your sourdough starter is still growing. So you may want to give it an extra hour or two before you're ready to bake with it. This is one here that I fed last night. As you can see, it's nice and flat on top. We've got some bubbles popping, and it's starting to almost even collapse a little bit onto itself. So this one is perfect and ready to bake bread with.